Hello and welcome to Express News with me, Deepika, your daily half-an-hour window that brings you 100 news and updates from the country and the world in 30 minutes. Let's begin. India's President Draupadi Murmu visited Siachen base camp in Ladakh. The President interacted with the troops posted there. Indian President is the country's third president to visit Siachen, which is the world's highest battlefield. Former Presidents APJ Abdul Kalam and Ramnath Kovind have also visited the base camp in the past. India's Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar graced the 83rd Foundation Day celebrations of Council of Scientific and Industrial Research in New Delhi. India's Vice President Dhankar formally launched the CSIR Thematic Exhibition 2024. This exhibition showcases CSIR's groundbreaking research and innovations, highlighting India's scientific and technological advancements. Interacting with Bharatiya Janata Party workers from the North Indian state of Haryana via Namo app, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi said the ability to make even the most serious matter light-hearted very intelligently can only be learned from Haryana. In line with his commitment to make India self-reliant in the field of supercomputing technology, India's Prime Minister today dedicated the nation 3 Param Rudra supercomputers worth around 130 crore rupees. These supercomputers have been developed indigenously under the National Supercomputing Mission. These supercomputers have been deployed in Pune, Delhi and Kolkata to facilitate pioneering scientific research. The second meeting of the Russia-India Working Group on Roads and Intelligent Transport System in Moscow was held to highlight collaborations in infrastructure and technology that are crucial for mutual growth. The Associated Chambers of Commerce and Industry of India's Gujarat Council organized chemical and petrochemical conclave on building a sustainable industry for Vikasit Bharat or Developed India by 2047 on Thursday. Chief Minister of Western Indian state of Gujarat, Bhupendra Patel, chaired the Chemical and Petrochemical Conclave along with various industry leaders at the event. India's pharmaceutical sector is on an impressive trajectory. The pharma sector is expected to reach 65 billion by 2024 and anticipated to double its value to $130 billion by 2030. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar stressed the need for economic democratization, enhanced mobility, skill development and connectivity expansion to achieve UN Sustainable Development Goals during his ongoing visit. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar joined foreign ministers from Latvia and Guyana at the Observer Research Foundation's discussion titled Tiger's Tail, Crafting a New Development Paradigm. The event aimed at exploring innovative strategies for global growth. And India's Minister of Commerce and Industry, Piyush Goyal, concluded a productive visit to Australia, aiming at further strengthening bilateral trade and investment ties in several priority sectors and open new areas of cooperation. During the visit, work and holiday visa, a key commitment under India-Australia Economic Cooperation and Trade Agreement, will be operational from 1st of October this year to facilitate mobility and deepen people-to-people connect between India and Australia. India's Minister Piyush Goyal also stressed the vast potential for collaboration in areas such as education, skill development, tourism, critical minerals and sustainability. Piyush Goyal also said that the focus was on strengthening trade ties to achieve shared goal of $100 billion in bilateral trade by the year 2030. 8th India-Indonesia Foreign Office consultations were held in New Delhi on Thursday, co-chaired by Secretary for East in India's MEA, Jaideep Mazumdar and Abdul Qadir Jailani. Reflecting on the strength of the India-Indonesia Comprehensive Strategic Partnership, both the sides undertook a comprehensive review of bilateral ties, including political exchanges, defence and security, and people-to-people exchanges. Down south in India, the Tirupati-Tirumala Devasthanam lodged a police complaint against AR Dairy Foods Private Limited for supplying adulterated ghee to the temple trust. India's benchmark indices Sensex jumped 666 points to settle at lifetime high of 85,836 and Nifty surged 211 points to hit record 26,216. The Indian rupee declined 7 paise to close at 83.65 against the US dollar. Gold futures maturing on the 4th of October stood at 75,234 rupees per 10 grams on Multi-Commodity Exchange of India Limited. Silver futures maturing on the 5th of December were retailing at 93,485 rupees per kilogram on the MCX. Oil prices slipped on Thursday. Brent crude futures were down 1.7% to $72.19 a barrel, while the price of US West Texas Intermediate crude is $68 per barrel. Facebook owner Meta Platforms showed off its first working prototype of augmented reality glasses called Orion during its annual Connect conference and at its California headquarters on Wednesday. The Orion glasses are made of magnesium alloy and powered by custom silicon designed by Meta. Users will be able to interact with the glasses through hand tracking, voice and wrist-based neural interface. European shares jumped on Thursday, buoyed by optimism over fresh stimulus measures from China. The Stock 600 index jumped 1.2% to 525. H&M has scraped its earnings margin target for 2024 as higher discounting, costs and fierce competition hurt operating profit in third quarter, sending its share down 8%. Germany's leading economic institutes have downgraded their forecast for 2024, and now Europe's largest economy is shrinking by 0.1%. Germany's economy was the weakest among its largest Eurozone peers with a 0.3% contraction. The United States, France and other key allies are pushing for an immediate 21-day ceasefire along the volatile Israel-Lebanon border and also backing a truce in Gaza. Tens of thousands of Lebanese residents flee their homes as the situation worsens between Israel and Lebanon. The Lebanese caretaker government announced 360 emergency shelters across the country to accommodate the displaced people. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres urged the Security Council to act in a meaningful way to ease global tensions, also emphasizing that peace demands action. Russia's President Vladimir Putin warned that Russia could resort to nuclear weapons if it faced any form of attack. President Putin declared that even a conventional strike supported by a nuclear power would be treated as a joint assault. US President Joe Biden announced more than $8 billion in military assistance for Ukraine on Thursday. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is set to meet US President Joe Biden at the White House on Thursday. Russia on Thursday fired 78 attack drones and 6 missiles over various regions in Ukraine, damaging critical infrastructure. Sudan's army launched artillery and airstrikes in Sudan's capital on Thursday in its biggest operation to regain ground since 17-month war with the Rapid Support Forces. United States has pledged an additional $424 million humanitarian aid to the people of Sudan. U.S. ambassador to the UN said that more than 25 million Sudanese faces acute hunger. The Chinese military released images of an intercontinental ballistic missile which test-fired on Wednesday. The launch contributes to tensions across the Indo-Pacific region. Chinese Defense Ministry said that its intercontinental ballistic missile launch was for weapons testing and training and was a routine and legitimate arrangement for security purpose. Japan sent warships through the sensitive Taiwan Strait for the first time to assert its freedom of navigation. The Sazanami entered the strait and spent more than 10 hours. China has opposed Japanese naval ship transit through the Taiwan Strait. Chinese Foreign Ministry urged Japan to refrain from disrupting cross-strait stability. 6 inmates died after a fire ripped through a cell in a prison on the outskirts of Uruguay's capital, Montevideo. Cause of the fire into the cell is still unknown. New York Mayor Eric Adams has been indicted on federal criminal charges following multiple probes into alleged corruption. Adams is now the first sitting New York mayor to face criminal charges. Amid federal charges, U.S. Representative Ocasio-Cortez called on New York Mayor Eric Adams to resign from the post of the mayor for the good of the city. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's government survived a no-confidence vote initiated by the opposition Conservative Party. The vote ended with 211 lawmakers opposing the motion and 120 supporting it. Defence ministers of the AUKUS treaty has arrived in London for a first-ever UK-hosted meeting of the partnership. AUKUS is a trilateral security partnership between Australia, UK and the US. South Korea passed a bill that criminalizes possessing or watching sexually explicit deep-fake photos or videos, imposing penalties with prison terms and fines. According to the bill, anyone purchasing, saving or watching deep-fake materials could face 3 to 6 years of jail or be fined up to $22,600 in South Korea, regardless of their intention. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau hosted an informal dinner for French President Emmanuel Macron at his residence in Ottawa. The two leaders are scheduled to hold bilateral meetings. We are heading for a short break. We'll be right back.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the economic brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
Welcome back. Let's continue. Hurricane Helene is rapidly intensifying and forecast to deliver a potentially catastrophic strike on Florida's Gulf Coast on Thursday. More than 40 million people in Florida, Georgia and Alabama were under hurricane and tropical storm warnings. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis expands a state of emergency declaration to nearly all of Florida's 67 counties as the U.S. state braces for Hurricane Helene. Residents in Florida were preparing for the potentially catastrophic impact of Hurricane Helene. Businesses were closed with boarded up windows and locals were picking up sandbags from distribution points. Hurricane John has fallen apart but has left destruction along Mexico's southern Pacific coast. Hurricane John triggered flooding and landslides that crushed homes while leaving at least 5 dead. The Miami-based Hurricane Center flagged the possibility that John could again become a hurricane before it strikes the coast. Cubans are facing heavy rains and flooding as Hurricane Helene barreled north on Wednesday. Strong winds and rain flooded roads, tore roofs from homes and uprooted precious crops. Northern provinces of Lampang and Sukhothai in Thailand are flooded due to overflow of the Wong River. Residents were moving their belongings to higher grounds. Firefighters battled 5 blazes on the outskirts of Ecuador's capital, Quito. At least 6 people have been injured and around 100 families evacuated. Around 2,000 firefighters have been deployed in Quito to try to contain the blazes and bring residents in affected areas to safe areas. In Berlin, German authorities continue to prepare flood defences and plans to evacuate affected areas if necessary. Authorities have put highest warning levels where rising water of Oder River have already breached banks in rural areas. The European Commission has proposed to allocate $1,335 million from the Agricultural Reserve to support farmers from flood-affected areas such as Bulgaria, Germany, Estonia, Italy and Romania. Wildfires in Cordoba, Argentina have destroyed over 47,000 hectares of forest and grassland. Also, 10 people have been arrested over deliberately setting blazes last week. Hundreds of residents of Cordoba protested against the government's handling of Argentina's wildfire as President Javier Milei flies over the incident area in a helicopter to assess the damage. Firefighters in Santa Cruz are still struggling to combat the flames in the Bolivian Amazon as wildfires have ravaged more than 3.8 million hectares of the country's forests. Bolivian firefighters explain that lack of fuel caused a delay in their ability to battle blazes, while locals are struggling with smoke, heat and lack of water due to severe drought in the country. Fishermen in Lake Puracucara of Brazil struggles to move boats around the Brazilian Amazon tributary as severe drought hits the tropical rainforest for second consecutive year. After Storm Boris wreaked havoc over Europe, Poland municipality estimates the damage to cost over 60 million euros in rebuilding and renovating residents' damaged homes. Indian Meteorological Department had issued a red alert warning for Mumbai, Maharashtra for next 2 days, advising residents of the city to only step out of their homes if necessary. In wake of the red alert issued by the Met Department, schools and colleges are closed in Mumbai, Pune, Thane and Palghar for Thursday. Torrential rains in Mumbai on Wednesday led to landslide at Mumbra Bypass Road. No casualties have been reported so far. Pope Francis arrived in Luxembourg for a brief day visit to one of Europe's smallest countries ahead of a weekend trip to Belgium. The Thursday to Sunday Luxembourg and Belgium tour is a rare European visit for the pontiff, who prefers going to places never visited by a pope or where Catholics are a small minority. Industry insiders and journalists attended the opening day of the 2024 Tokyo Game Show. Among the exhibitors is Sony Interactive Entertainment, where they showed off the PS5 Pro, a faster, more powerful version of its PlayStation. United States El Cosmico is building world's first 3D printed hotel chain across Texas city of Marfa. The 7th edition of Global Aerospace Summit commenced in Abu Dhabi. The two-day event brings together industry leaders, government officials and academics to discuss sustainable space and defense sectors. Meta presented its first working prototype of augmented reality glasses called Orion during its annual Connect conference. Indian telecom carrier Bharti Airtel launched a technology backed by AI that will monitor calls and messages on the network in real time and will flag them as spam. People gathered in central Bangkok on 25th September to celebrate the passage of the same-sex marriage law. The event featured a vibrant rainbow-colored canvas and attendees. Thailand's king has endorsed a marriage equality bill passed by the parliament earlier this year, officially making the kingdom the first country in Southeast Asia and third in Asia to recognize marriages of same-sex couples. A global conservationist project discovered wild-born adult snails in French Polynesia for the first time in 40 years. Japanese gaming giant Nintendo is all set to open a museum next week showcasing its history, where the fans of Super Mario, The Legend of Zelda can gain insight into one of the world's most renowned game makers. The Turner Prize, which celebrates its 40th anniversary this year, showcased its 4 nominees at the Tata Britain in London. The Turner Prize is Britain's most prestigious contemporary art award. India's first luxury train, Palace on Wheels, departed for its season's first journey from New Delhi on Wednesday. Launched in 1982, the train only runs from September to April from New Delhi to western state of Rajasthan. Lady Gaga and Phoenix attended the premiere of their eagerly awaited sequel to Todd Phillips' dark supervillain origin story called Joker in London on Wednesday. After crushing box office, Deadpool and Wolverine is all set to be released on digital platforms Prime Video and Apple TV Plus on 1st October this year. Chicago Med Season 10 introduced new showrunner Alan McDonald after Diane Frolov and Andy Schneider. Other changes also include 2 new characters, Dr. Caitlin Lennox and Dr. John Frost. Sandhya Suri's critically acclaimed police procedural drama titled Santosh, a Hindi lingual film, has been chosen by the United Kingdom as their official submission to Oscars 2025. Filmmaker Ashutosh Gavarikar has come on board as the honorary chairman for the 10th Ajanta Ellora International Film Festival, which is scheduled to take place from 15th till the 19th of January next year. The trailer of the movie Jigra starring Alia Bhatt and Vedang Raina as siblings has been released, and it promises to take the audience on an emotional ride. India's quiz show Kaun Banega Crorepati crowns its first Crorepati of season 16. 22-year-old Chandar Prakash from Jammu and Kashmir Sakhnoor became the first Crorepati of the season. Union Sports Minister Mansukh Mandaviya felicitated chess Olympiad heroes in New Delhi who bagged gold. Each chess player received a cash reward of 2 million rupees for their gold medal triumph. Both men's and women's teams scripted history. India is all set to face Bangladesh in second and final test in Kanpur on Friday. India is currently leading the series by 1-0. Bangladesh legendary all-rounder Shakib Al Hasan has announced retirement from T20 international and Test cricket formats. Shakib stated that the upcoming Test match against South Africa in Mirpur will be his last if he gets selected. England Test captain Ben Stokes said he would be willing to return to the white ball setup under new coach Brendan McCullum. South African middle-order batter David Miller played his 500th T20 match to become only the sixth person in the format to do so. In memory of late Indian legendary cricketer Bhisham Singh Bedi, an event was hosted in New Delhi to commemorate his legacy. Former world number 1 badminton player Kidambi Shrikant progressed to the quarter-final round of the Macau Open men's singles event. And MotoGP has announced that India will host another Grand Prix race at the Buddha International Circuit on the outskirts of New Delhi in 2026. And with this, it's a wrap here on Express News, but news and updates will continue here on DD India. So don't go anywhere. Keep watching and keep tracking DD India for all latest news and updates from the country and the world. Thank you so much for joining us right now. Namaskar.